Kevin Durant, only 19.
The officiating crew, as you see, Dan Crawford, Bill Spooner, Derek Stafford. It is tradition here in Oklahoma City. The fans remain standing until the Thunder hit their first field goal.
That seems to bother you, Marv. You mentioned it before the game. He said everyone stands here.
It's annoying.
So it is. So you're hoping that the Spurs score quickly, is what you're saying.
The only reason from the broadcast point of view, usually someone deep in the corner, and we are screened out, is able to score. Nothing personal here.
You just got to love the collegiate atmosphere that is here in Oklahoma City. They really rally behind their Thunder.
Always a great scene in Oklahoma City. Very successful at home. 26-7 during the regular season. Among the best home records. Kickball, so 14 on the shot clock.
We do see Cephalosha and Parker. I think where that makes a difference is in the passing lanes. With the bigger Cephalosha, the longer arms, the passing angles will be a little tougher for Tony to find.
However, he's able to use the pick. First possession for the Thunder.
Well, to tell you the truth, gentlemen, I'm going to stand with everyone else just to see who makes this first shot.
Westbrook going at Parker. Westbrook, yes. In game 2, Tuesday night in San Antonio, the Spurs shot 55%. They had 27 assists on 43 field goals. Duncan way off, able to recover, and then picked off by Cephalosha. Westbrook on the drive, kicks it out. Ibaka. And the save made by Leonard.
Well, you know the onslaught is coming early if you're San Antonio. Oklahoma City's going to use this energy, ride the crowd. So it's a matter of just withstanding the early surge.
Leonard, one-handed by Perkins. The outlet for Durant with Diaw back. Durant to the rim, draws the foul.
And that's exactly what the Thunder need to do. Rebound and get out in transition. When you've got Westbrook and Durant, and when Harden comes in, you've got three guys who can attack that paint area, get fouled, and all three are excellent free throw shooters.
Foul committed by Green and Kevin Durant. One of the better free throw shooters at 85%. See his numbers. Game 2 in San Antonio. I mentioned the 10 for 17, but again, was well covered. Could not find his shots in the fourth quarter.
A combined 1 for 5 in the 2 fourth quarters in games 1 and 2 for Kevin Durant. So I would look for Oklahoma City to do a much better job of finding shots for him, but he also has to be much more aggressive.
But remember, as Greg Popovich has reminded his team, Oklahoma City with 67 points in the second half off the steal. Here's the lead for the win. And Popovich telling us the only reason we won that game is because we scored so big defensively. We were very poor, particularly in that second half on transition. Another steal. Cephalosha met by Parker. Cephalosha.
Well, remember, in game 2, in the fourth quarter alone, Oklahoma City had 20 fast break points. And as you mentioned, Mark, Popovich not happy at all with his defense. So this is more about the defense of San Antonio and tightening things up, because this is becoming a track meet.
Fourth consecutive turnover committed by the Spurs. Ibaka wide open, yes. 8 unanswered. Timeout, San Antonio.
If you're Scott Brooks, this is the start you've been waiting for. Let the young guns out of the holster.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, right? It's got 1 million more pixels than HD TV.
Points of the game. Kevin Durant played all but 5 minutes in game 1, all but 8 minutes in game 2. And after watching Boston's Rajon Rondo play all 53 minutes in last night's overtime loss in Miami, he went to Coach Scott Brooks and said, hey, I do not want to come out of tonight's game. Coach Brooks said, hey, we'll do what's been successful all year, and that's to give you a short rest in each half. Durant said, Coach, I played 5 games in one day once and played every minute of all 5 games. Brooks said, hey, Sam Presti, our general manager, was not the general manager of your AAU team.
All right, Craig, well, Scott Brooks telling us as Duncan rims out, kept alive here. And they have a new shot clock. Scott saying every time he takes Durant out of the game, as Duncan hits the first field goal for San Antonio, Kevin feels he's being benched. He's taken out maybe twice for about 3 or 4 minutes apiece, but he doesn't look at it the same way.
Nobody wants to come out. But I do believe he can play 48 minutes. As athletic and as young as he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he played the whole game tonight.
4 consecutive turnovers by San Antonio at the start, contributing to this fast opening by the Thunder, and Tim Duncan once again.
And Mark, that's Duncan's shot in this series, because as long as Kendrick Perkins is on the floor, Perkins such a good low post defender. It's tough for Duncan to score on him, but put him in that pick and pop.
Oh, beautiful move by Westbrook.
Westbrook with a quick move on Danny Green. He took looked like an elbow to the mouth area.
Walker spinning his way on Cephalosha, preventing the shot.
And that's pretty good defense there by Cephalosha. The length blanketing Tony Parker.
Parker for 3. He has stayed away from the three-point shot. In fact, there have been a number of occasions where he's wide open for 3. He'll take a couple of steps inside the line.
He may have to take a few more tonight because of the length of Cephalosha as Westbrook misses on the jumper, but Cephalosha doing an excellent job keeping him out of the paint to this point.
Duncan. Tim Duncan only 2 of 11 in game 2. Cephalosha for 3. And Duncan is open. Rebounded by Diaw. Off the double. Blocked by Ibaka.
Already the difference in that pick and roll with Tony Parker with Cephalosha guarding him. It's starting out much further than it was in San Antonio.
Westbrook. Russell Westbrook with his 3rd field goal. He has 6 points and 2 assists.
We heard Charles talking at the top of the show. He wanted to see if Tim Duncan, who has struggled offensively in this series, he's going to have to make that free throw line jump shot throughout this game.
Again, a wide open shot for Parker. The basket counts and a foul away from the ball as Diaw was knocked to the floor.
This was Kendrick Perkins after the 8-0 start. You see him at the top left. He glares at our booth right here, and he's yelling, talk about that. Talk about that. Perkins, a very emotional
Is he talking
player.
to you, us?
I don't know. I think it was all of us. Look, he took a beating after game 2, and we've praised him for his post defense in the Lakers series. They wouldn't be here without him. But game 2, his pick and roll defense was a major problem. He heard us. He heard us talking about it. He's coming after us, Reggie.
I will say this. We are truth tellers over here. Don't get mad at our crystal ball. If we're talking, we only are speaking the truth, Marvelous.
I thought he was staring at me, and I was beginning to wonder what is going on. If that's his motivation.
That's a matchup I'd like to see. You versus Perk.
Wait a second. That's a foul as Ibaka, who committed that foul a moment ago on Diaw, picks up his 2nd. Now, can he get a technical for trash talking the announcers?
And can we get a technical for trash talking him back?
I think we're safe.
Well,
okay?
Stu Jackson is here. Maybe we should go ask him.
So Tony Parker to the line.
You could take him, Marv. You and Perk. I think you could take him if the circumstances were right.
Showing an awful lot of confidence here. I mean, awful. Now look at the Thunder Spurs upcoming series schedule right here on TNT. This Saturday, we'll be back at Oklahoma City for game number 4, starting 8:30 Eastern Time. Pre-game show. The studio guys at 8. And if necessary, game number 5 Monday night back in San Antonio. Duncan with a block from behind, but it's recovered. Westbrook. Last touch by Parker. Manu Ginobili checked in a moment ago. Here comes Matt Bonner replacing Boris Diaw.
Steve, you talked about the emotions and weathering that 8-0 run early on. Greg Popovich now 12-all making subs. I think they've started to adjust to the emotion of this game.
They've weathered the storm, no question. And Oklahoma City now starting to force shots. Westbrook really just trying to be a battering ram, getting to the rim.
Nice pass from Ginobili, and Duncan sent flying into the photographer's area. He was pushed. Perkins on the foul. That is his first.
You know, the crowd is really upset right now. They felt that Westbrook was fouled a couple times going to the hoop. But I got to say, I think the Spurs have done a terrific job in this series of staying high with their hands, their big men, backing away from the pressure. A little bit like Chicago's defense with Noah and Ashik and Gibson, where they just they go vertical. They stay straight up. They don't give you a chance to draw that foul. San Antonio doing a nice job of that.
Greg Popovich now has Steven Jackson up front with Matt Bonner and Tim Duncan. And at the guards, Parker and Ginobili.
If you're Scott Brooks, the very way you got out to that 8-0 run, in my opinion, you've got to make this attractive because you've got the younger athletes. Even though we know that the Spurs are one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA this year, you've got to create some offense from your defense and try to run Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili a little bit more.
James Harden has checked in, coming on as Durant fires one up. Well, the Spurs, after trailing 8-0, now have a 13-12 lead with just under 5 remaining in this opening quarter. That is thrown into the backcourt. It's a violation of the ball. Back to Oklahoma City.
And this is what I've been talking about, just staying high. Look at Tim Duncan and Ginobili staying high, challenging the shot, but not swinging down with the arm. That's where most big men get into trouble foul-wise. And actually, Oklahoma City's done a nice job of that, too, in this series, knowing that Ginobili and Parker are going to try to create contact as well.
Perkins setting a hard pick on Ginobili. Parker took it away from Durant, but a foul is called. For Parker, his first. The Spurs pick up their second team foul.
You know, with Perkins on the floor offensively, I'd like to see more screening from him away from the ball. We see him setting a lot of good screens on the ball. But to me, when he screens away for Durant on the weak side, he can really free up Durant for open shots.
Here is Harden for 3, rebounded by Ginobili. The Spurs' last loss, 50.